Hello and welcome. I am Suit&Tie, Dip&ChewGuy, and this is Face Off number 9. And for those subscribers that are in the know, you'll be sitting there going, wait a minute, he already did these. Suit&Tie's goofed up. I have not goofed up. I have purposely done this. The reason for that is the original number 4 Face Off that was the same. It was packs versus regular pouches. Was done a couple months before the new equipment came in. And although I stand by what was said in that review, and my opinions most likely have not changed at all, I did not have the down camera option at the time to look at the desk. Thus, you really didn't get a side-by-side of the two different pouch materials. Now, originally, and it's still the case, these were put up against each other because they had the same flavor. The face-off here, the back and forth here is between the two pouch types. And I think highly enough of the packs and the pouches from Copenhagen have their own merits, but the packs in particular, that I thought I'd redo it again to highlight the differences between the pouch types. Okay, so really, there's not going to be anything. They taste the same. Okay, I know that for a fact. They taste the same. My opinions, although I will go over some of them again in this video, are the same. All right, this video is just me trying to put out a better product, and the better product is you being able to see the pouches lying next to each other. So with that, we are going to go over to the desk and look at the products, and I will give opinions and whatnot, and I will throw one in at some point just to show you how they sit in the mouth, because they are different. I will also be cutting open the pouches, because the packs is supposed to be, and was originally, long cut, all right? All pouch products, regular pouch products, no matter the company, have always been, to the best of my knowledge, fine cut. All right? So there's a difference there as well. So we will take it over the desk. There could be quite a number of pauses, me pausing during this, trying to cut down the time a little bit. The original face-off number 4 was like 24, almost 25 minutes. We'll try not to do that. At the end of the video, in the last 20 seconds or so, that the face-off playlist will pop up along with another review from it. Okay? With that, I'm taking it over to the desk. Back in a moment. Okay, and here we are. So basically, you have the two cans side by side. Personally, looks-wise, not to be overly superficial, I prefer the packs. It's sort of a gunmetal gray that's lighter in the middle and fades out dark. But, you know, not a big deal. So, there's a code if anybody wants to try to get that in. Alright. And that is the website where you put the code in and all the rules for it. Barcode. So, this is a product of the U.S. Smokeless Tobacco Company, which is headquartered out of Nashville, Tennessee. You know, all the usual there. Do note that it is 0.82 ounces, which is 23.25 grams. All right? Because, there's another code if you want to pause. Because this one is 0.847 ounces, which is 24 grams even. So there is a slightly heavier product in the packs can. And that's noteworthy for a couple of reasons. Because there are less packs in this than there are pouches in this. Copenhagen pouch products and Skoal as well have 15 pouches to a can. Copenhagen packs only has 12 pouches to a can. Yet the product in this can is slightly heavier than this. All right? So you're not really getting ripped off. In my mind, and I don't think this has changed, but we will find out later on, the pouch product, I usually find myself using 2 at a time, which is a problem with Copenhagen products because there's 15, which is an odd count. The packs, I usually find myself only using 1 at a time. So over here, you got 7.5 uses, and over here, 12. We will just look at the sell-by dates on these. They're well within date, okay? And we will get right into it. So you got the papery band on the pouches. And the same will be for... Oh! Wait a minute, no. No, you don't. The band material is slightly different on the packs. It's sort of rubbery, and it's actually giving me sort of a hard time, to tell you the truth. It's more like a American Snuff Company product. I think I got it. Okay. So, well, maybe not. So that is the packs. And that is the pouches. All right. And I will try to adjust light here a little bit, but I'm not quite sure. So number one, right off the bat, they look different form-wise, which is the idea of packs. It's a very different seam line on it and whatnot. But the packs are also darker. That is because the pouch material on packs is a dark brown. Darker than Grizzly pouch products. Oddly enough, the packs also weigh the same as American Snuff Company pouch products, whereas U.S. Smokeless Company regular pouches usually weigh very slightly less. But looking at the two, Copenhagen pouches tend to be very moist, which is why you're already seeing moisture on the paper towel. And then you have the pack. So with the pouch, we are looking at the back side of it with the length seam, 2 seams at the end, and then the length. On the other side, and yes, this moisture level for Copenhagen pouch products is the norm. That is the non-seam side. Now, looking at the pack, either side, you're like, wait a minute, where is the seam? The seam on these is actually running around the edge. It's sort of put together like a round pillow would be. Do you see that seam on the edge there? And thus, I mean, you could make it perfectly round if you wanted to, I suppose. The material is also different, but we will get into that in a moment. So this is the difference, and that is not giving off as much moisture, but there could be a very good reason for that. Whereas the pouch is like, I'm not even really pressing on it, and it's leaving marks all over the place. All right? But I am all but certain we are going to see a different type of tobacco when we get into this. So we are going to do that now. I'm going to put the lids back on this because these products I actually will use. I will go through these cans. So I suppose we'll get, because it's basically making a mess anyway, we will get this regular pouch open first. And try to get it dumped out there, although it's going to be a little bit difficult to tell you the truth because it's going to want to stick to this pouch material. So the pouch, as you could see, ripped fairly easily. And it gives a little bit, but it doesn't give too much before it rips again. The tobacco that you're looking at in it is not a fine cut to the extent of, let's say, when they put out the wintergreen fine cut, but it is a fine, it's not a long cut, let me put it that way. And yes, it is about that black, which is why you're having a hard time seeing the definition in it, because it's like jet black. All right, but it is definitely by no means a long cut. And if it wasn't for the moisture levels, it probably would look finer to you, but it seems to be clinging on itself. Now, going over to the pack. Did you see that? It does rip, obviously. I'm applying, you know, pounds of pressure on it. But you will see in a second. It doesn't want to come out either. The material is very, very stretchy. It will rip apart, given the proper force. Now with this, you know what, this product is so dark, you're going to have a hard time. Let me see if I can adjust light here. I thought more light would help, but the stuff is almost like glistening. This is what I would consider the Copenhagen original long cut. Like the original's long cut, how people say it's like a medium cut. This is longer. It is very obvious to me in person, maybe not so much on the camera. I wish it was. Whereas the pouch stuff, although it's clinging on itself, the clinging to itself makes it almost seem like it's little cube cuts. But it's not. It's actually much finer. Like, let me get a... Okay, like this thing right here. This is a bunch of pieces. This is a whole bunch of pieces that are just clinging to themselves due to moisture levels. And there is a lot of moisture here. Like a lot. And it will be the same with the long cut, or the longer cut. But because of the cut itself, it's not going to show as much, and it's not going to give it up. So, this is the two things. This is the two pouch materials. We will take it back up top because they look very different in the mouth. Alright? So with that, I'm going to go back up top, and I will talk to you some more once we get there. Okay, and we are back up top, and this is turning out not to be as many pauses as I thought, and I also did not count on the product being that moist, which made it hard to show, so I apologize for that. So, with the packs, 15 to a can, not the packs, I'm sorry, the pouches. 15 to a can on the pouches. Apologize. I'll just throw one in just to show you. Now, I will say, over the last few years, I don't use pouch products much, but I have gotten more used to just throwing one pouch in at a time, depending on the product. All right, because what I do with them, I usually have a pouch up front. I usually hold them farther forward. And I don't want as much in that spot. But a lot of people do use two at a time. I get it. I used to. But really, in general, I don't use pouches a lot. The last pouches I used to can up was the Cougar wintergreen pouches. So, now I'm on the wrong side. Hold on, let me switch this to the other side. So you're looking at, I can't see what I'm showing you and do it at the same time. Let me just put it dead center. Anybody that's watching this channel knows, oh, that's a pouch. But with the packs, there are only 12 to a can. But the can's product inside weighs slightly more than the pouch product. Because of the circular nature of the pouch, and because there's a slightly longer tobacco in it, it feels fuller. It feels more like you've put a pinch of long cut in. It doesn't feel, per se, like a pouch, which it is, a reformatted pouch, but it doesn't feel as much that way. Once you get it in there for a while, it doesn't really look like a pouch either. Now, I'm not one that's worried about what anything looks like to anybody. I'm only highlighting the fact that it sort of looks like a regular pinch, or more like a regular pinch, because the way it looks is sort of the way it feels. As for flavor and whatnot, they're both Copenhagen wintergreen. Okay, they're a sweet-leaning wintergreen with a bit of a burn for me because I don't use wintergreen daily. There's a burn there though, and they're not as harsh as, let's say, Grizzly wintergreen. But as you can see, it's comfortable in the mouth. It seems more familiar to me. I don't automatically associate, like, mentally in the back of my mind, oh, I got a pouch in. Flavor-wise, they're the same. If you like Copenhagen wintergreen, you'll be happy with the flavor of either. At this moisture level, even regular pouches are putting off a lot of flavor quickly. The flavor and nicotine on the packs is slightly slower kicking in. That's because it's a longer cut tobacco. That's the only reason. It's also the reason why not as much moisture was coming off on the paper towel. All in all, both products fine. I mean, if you're interested in trying one of them, and you've already done some pouch product from American Snuff Company or U.S. Smokeless Tobacco Company in the past, then I would say try the packs. Only need one at a time. It actually sort of works out better in your favor. If you dip Copenhagen wintergreen pouches, and for some reason, somehow, you've never tried the packs because you heard there was less of them in there, this, that, you need to try them. I'm getting flat out. You really need to try them. Because somebody that does pouches all the time will be more inclined to have, to appreciate what the packs bring to the table. You'll be able to be like, wow, this, you know what? To me, not using pouches in general, period, I think it's a huge difference. Big enough difference to do this video again, but I don't use pouches, wintergreen pouches, every day. Somebody that does will really be like, wow, this is very different, and at the same time sort of the same, familiar but an improvement. And that is that. This has been Face Off number 9, which is a redo of Face Off number 4. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&Chew Guy. This is what we're looking at. And I plan on doing more of these face-offs in the near future, although they will not be redos. I just wanted to do this one because the original one, I could not show the two pouches next to each other. Anyway, I do hope you all are well. As always, do take care of yourselves, and God bless.